So regarding those internet web connections that I just showed you, these links are in the upper right-hand corner. You can take a picture of them, and they'll also be on the recording of this video. My name is Deborah Bird. I'm a certified hypnotherapist and health coach, and I'm doing these workshops in conjunction with the wonderful group Warriors by BTFP that works in a very dedicated manner to reduce abuse of any kind, emotional, physical, sexual, in this world, and to give people outlets for calling for justice on those issues and bringing those issues to the attention of society. And now they're sponsoring these workshops to provide solutions to people who have undergone traumas and are looking for ways to heal. We have a really exciting subject today, and that subject is the emotional scale. Once again, I'm going to do a share screen so that you can see these things. So let's see here. This is the emotional scale. And so what we are looking at is that our emotions in regard to any subject have a lower, a more difficult, challenging kind of place down here on the lower end of things, and have on an ongoing basis, as you go up this emotional scale, you get higher and higher and feel better and better. The turning point, which I have highlighted, is hopefulness. And that's when you start going into the real positive emotions. So now, before we discuss too much, we're not going to go into each and every level, and don't get too entangled in why is feeling overwhelmed, number 11, a lower on the emotional scale than number 10, feeling frustration, irritation, and impatience. Sometimes this is not finite, this is not absolute, it's a useful tool. A couple things, though, I think down here on the very low end, in the 20s range, is this feeling of despair and depression, which we have all gone into at one time or another. But what is so interesting to me is that emotions that we typically say we shouldn't be feeling or bad to feel are actually better than depression and this feeling of powerlessness. So when we get into anger, when we get into blame, like we've all learned, don't blame others, right? You're actually moving up the emotional scale. So it's a positive thing, which is one of the reasons I love this emotional scale. It is showing us, first of all, our emotions are natural. Our emotions are natural. You're going to feel emotions. Stuffing your emotions down is quite unhealthy. And as you will see as we move through this presentation, that's not at all what I'm recommending. So if you get to the place where you're feeling anger, you were once depressed, powerless, and you're feeling anger, and you're feeling blame, you're moving up the emotional scale. So that's a positive thing. Hey, I'm moving up the emotional scale. Things are getting better, right? And so anyway, let's go into some more detail about how to use this emotional scale for your betterment, and why do we care about this, and what are we trying to do with this? So let's see, I'm going to try to switch my share screen. You are sharing screen. I don't know if it's going to let me switch documents. Okay, well, I'm just going to stay on the emotional scale then. I'm not going to worry about it. Rules of using the emotional scale. That was the other document I was trying to share with you, but it was not allowing me to switch. Let me do this. Let me do this stop share. And then let me do share again. And let me do, yeah, here we go. Okay. It just wants you to stop. Okay. Rules of using the emotional scale. So, number one, this is not a happy face sticker. It's a genuine adjustment of emotions. So, if we're feeling some kind of challenging emotion, which is anything beneath the hopefulness or maybe below the pessimism, number 9 on the original scale, we're not putting a happy face sticker on it. A happy face sticker is absolutely irrelevant and will not do anything. So that's just pasting on, oh, I'm not going to think about this. You know, this is invalid. It's a lower emotion. I'm just going to go out and be nice to everyone. You know, well, fine. That's what you're doing on the surface. But what are you doing in here? That's what you're doing on the surface is rather irrelevant. What you're doing in here and in here is critical. Number 2, no one is saying you should not have challenging emotions or that challenging emotions are bad. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. Because, why? Because the solution is to acknowledge where we are on the emotional scale and then do something about it. So the challenging, if you had a hot burner on a stove somewhere, and you went up and you put your hand on the hot burner, would you leave it there or would you remove your hand? Would you leave your hand on the hot burner or would you remove your hand? Obviously, you would remove your hand. When it comes to our hand, we know exactly what to do. When it comes to our emotions, we're totally baffled. And we can often stay down in these lower emotions, these very challenging emotions, and recycle them over and over and over again, which simply isn't healthy. It's like leaving your hand on a hot burner, you know. So, okay, so challenging emotions are good because they show us that our hand's on the burner. Don't criticize yourself or anyone else for lower emotions. This is the gold that motivates us to use our vibrational adjustment. So let's take a moment here and just define what is vibrational adjustment. That sounds a little weird and that can sound a little flaky to some people, but actually quantum physics can, at this point in time, measure the vibration of our thoughts. And when they can measure when we're down in these lower area, and they can measure the improvement when we're in this upper area. So science is meeting metaphysics. They're coming together and understanding one another. So when we adjust our vibration, in other words, when we recognize that we're at a lower emotion and we want to do something about it, then we want to adjust our vibration. The way we adjust our vibration is moving up the emotional scale. What is the relationship between emotions and vibration? Number 4, what is the relationship between emotions and vibration? The same thing. Basically, they're the same thing. How do I know what I am vibrating in this moment in time? How do I know? The way I know is what emotion I'm feeling. What emotion am I feeling? You know, you can say your words are really sort of irrelevant. It's really the vibration behind it that determines where you are on the vibrational scale. The reason that you want to increase your vibration is that wherever you are on the emotional scale, you will attract more of it. So let me say that again. The reason that we want to increase our vibration is that wherever we are on the emotional scale, we will attract more of it. So what do you want to attract? Do you want to attract joy, appreciation, passion, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness? Or do you want to attract powerlessness, depression, despair? So we are also very empowered when we are in this place of alignment. And I would call what is alignment? Here's another term I'm throwing out, but alignment is on the emotional scale, I would say number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Number 1 is joy and appreciation. Number 2 is passion. Number 3 is enthusiasm and eagerness. Number 4 is positive expectation and belief. Number 5 is optimism. That's when we're in alignment. So the less effort you are using from alignment, the more physical effort is required. So the less energy, let's restate that, the less energy you are getting from being aligned, the less empowerment you are getting from being aligned, the more physical effort is required. When you're in alignment, that's when you meet the right person. The exact right thing happens. You're at a demonstration and you meet the exact person that you needed to meet to start a cooperative group that's 10 times more powerful. You're looking for a job and you bump into a friend in a coffee shop and the friend says, oh, our company's hiring. I can't believe our company is hiring. You're the perfect person for the job. Those are the kinds of things that happen when you're in alignment. One who is in alignment is 1,000 times more powerful than one who is not. One who is in alignment, this is number 6 on the rules of using the emotional scale. Number 6 on the rules of using the emotional scale. One who is in alignment is 1,000 times more powerful than one who is not. So next to that, I put MLK. So he was a really good example of someone who, and very appropriate to our current events also, he was one who was in alignment. I mean, boy, was he in alignment. He could empower a lot of people to do a lot of things. And he was very vocal. He was also very vocal. He was very out there. He was creating change. He was making things happen. Being in alignment and vibrating a good vibration and calling synchronicities and empowerment and change to you does not mean that you're sitting on your couch all day long. Okay, that's another misconception about these processes. Oh, I don't have to do any action now. I'm just going to sit on my couch and think happy thoughts. No, you take the appropriate action that's required for your set of circumstances and your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. If you need to have a pity party, have a pity party. You know, and these are times, for one reason or another, when one might be wanting to have a pity party. Have a pity party. Hey, I'm going to have a pity party. You know, I recently had to close down my physical office because all my face-to-face traffic stopped. And that was after spending a large amount of money very recently on office furniture. I needed to have a pity party. I said, okay, I'm going to have a pity party. I'm going to do this for about 2 weeks. 2 weeks went by, and then I said, okay, now I'm ready to do something about it. So put a time limit on it. 2 weeks is sort of long. I would recommend 30 minutes at the most, but I was feeling like I needed 2 weeks, so I took 2 weeks. So the process, how do we do something about it? How do we move up the emotional scale? Well, as I said before, if you don't know about the emotional scale, you don't know how to acknowledge where you are on the emotional scale. And if you're in anything below hopefulness, let's get that back up again, 1 second here. If you're in anything below hopefulness, then yeah, work to get it up. So how do you do that? Well, there's a lot of different processes for doing that. There's a lot of different, that would take, to include them all, would take a whole nother workshop. So let's do the simplest and easiest one and most direct one. So the first thing is to release the intensity of the challenging emotion that we're feeling. Release the intensity of the challenging emotion that we're feeling. And some of you may have had the opportunity to attend my recorded session here that we did in previous weeks on tapping. Some of you may not have been on that. So we're just going to, does somebody want to say something?
Yeah, this is just Nadia. I was just going to say, we do have a couple of new people, so it might be helpful. I didn't know if you wanted to maybe just give a brief introduction to those things.
Oh, cool. A couple new people. Oh, okay. Yeah, so tapping is an acupressure technique, and acupressure works like acupuncture, and we tap. Instead of inserting needles, we tap on various acupressure points, and in tapping, they're always the same. So it's here, 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 and here. And I guess I should show everybody at this point my website. Well, we'll do that at the end. So on my website, you have the link to my website up here. So so you just go to that link, you click on the hypnosis tab, and you can even do that now if you want to, as long as it doesn't mess with your Zoom. And then under the, as you open up the menu, the hypnosis menu, you will see a link for tapping. You open up the link and then you just follow along in those videos. So you don't even need to write down any notes or anything in today's session, because you have access to that tapping video. And I can even put that link up at the end.
Yeah, Deborah, I just put it in the chat box, actually, the exact link. Yeah, so if anybody wants to check that out, I actually do tapping every single day. I'm so appreciative that Deborah showed me that technique, because it's amazing and can completely shift my mood. And I do it in conjunction with meditation, yoga, other things that I'm doing as well. So that is in the chat box. If you just go to the bottom of the page, you'll see chat.
Perfect. So now we're just going to go through a tapping example. So I would like you to identify where you are on this emotional scale. And if you can't remember the emotional scale, it doesn't matter, but just, what was bugging you maybe previous to when you logged on here and probably got all distracted, something that was bugging you. I mean, anything, could be absolutely anything that you've been feeling recently. It could be these lower feelings of very challenging feelings of despair and powerlessness. It could be injustice. It could be anger. It could be worry. It could be absolutely anything that you want it to be. It could be something in your personal life. You're just getting in touch now with what's been bugging you over the past 7 days, maybe, that might have the potential to linger into next week. Let's say if you were worried about finding a job and then you found a job on Friday, you're not going to tap on being worried about finding a job, right? It's something that you think might linger and be transferred into this week. I mean, Monday and beyond. And now I want you to put a number on it. So 10 high, 1 low, I want you to rate it. I want you to rate it. 10 is a very high level of worry or depression. 0 is 0. If it's 0, then you need to find something else, because that means it's not even bugging you. 1 is a very low number of concern. And so we're going to do a tapping exercise, and I'm going to refer to all of the emotions and challenges that all of you are experiencing as negative emotion, because that includes everybody. And you in your mind are going to know that negative emotion pertains to your specific issue, whatever it is. Don't forget your number, okay? And then in terms of how to move up the emotional scale, I am just going to do that in the hypnosis section. which will be recorded. And you're not expected to remember when you're in a state of hypnosis, but you can access the recording, and we'll try to do a little review here at the end, too, a little verbal review. So now we're ready to go into the hypnosis part. If you're sitting in a chair, you need to be sure that your head is supported. You could put a big bedroom pillow behind your head and down the back of your chair if you want to, but you need to sort of scoot down. It's always best if your feet are up. It takes a lot of energy for your heart to pump the blood from your feet to your heart. So it's always better if your feet are up, or you can just move to a bed. You shouldn't lie flat on the bed. Your head and shoulders should have a good 3 pillows underneath it. You should have pillows underneath your knees, ideally. However, lying flat is challenging and you may fall asleep. So I'll let you work that out. I'm going to give everybody a minute to get settled. Okay, now that I've said that about reclining, you still need to be in a position to see me. So if you've just reclined and you can no longer see me, you need to sit back up. Sorry about that. And then you can lie down later. So now you've got your challenging emotion in your mind, at the forefront of your mind. And now you're going to visualize, so you do need to be seeing me again. You're going to lift up your left hand like this, and you're going to lift your right hand up like this, and you're going to tap on the karate chop point on the side of your hand. And you're just going to repeat after me, even though I am experiencing negative emotion. You're supposed to be repeating after me. That's why I'm pausing. Okay? You're repeating everything I'm saying. Even though I'm experiencing negative emotion, I still totally accept and appreciate myself. Even though I'm experiencing negative emotion, I still totally accept and appreciate myself. Even though I'm experiencing negative emotion, I still totally accept and appreciate myself. And right hand, right eyebrow, where the eyebrow meets the nose, experiencing negative emotion. Experiencing negative emotion. It doesn't feel good. Can't let it go. In the hollow beside the eye, beside the eye socket, experiencing negative emotion. Can't let it go. Experiencing negative emotion. Can't let it go. And now the bone under the eye, experiencing negative emotion. Can't let it go. Experiencing negative emotion. Can't let it go. And under the nose, experiencing negative emotion. Can't let it go. Can't let it go. It's tough. It's really bugging me. Under the lip, experiencing negative emotion. Can't let it go. Can't let it go. Negative emotion. Negative emotion. Collarbone. So you're finding your collarbone, which is right about here, and then you're going under it And there's a hollow under there. That's a good point. Experiencing negative emotion, can't let it go. It's tough. Feels overwhelming. It's got me. On the bra line under the arm, experiencing negative emotion, can't let it go. Can't let it go. Right hand on top of the head, it's breaking up. I'm letting it all go. It's breaking up. I'm releasing it. Breaking up and letting go. Breaking up and releasing. Letting it all go now. Letting it all go now. Letting it all go now. Hand down, taking a nice long deep breath in. And exhale, release. Eyes closed and 3 natural breaths. Holding up your right hand like this and your left hand like this. Even though I'm feeling negative emotion, I still totally accept and appreciate myself. Even though I'm feeling negative emotion, I still totally accept and appreciate myself. Even though I'm feeling negative emotion, I still totally accept and appreciate myself. Left hand, left eyebrow, where the eyebrow meets the nose. Feeling negative emotion. It's challenging. Doesn't feel good. Can't let it go. Hollow beside the eye. Feeling negative emotion. Can't let it go. Feeling negative emotion. Can't let it go. Can't let it go. The bone under the eye. Feeling negative emotion. Can't let it go. Can't let it go. Can't let it go. Feeling negative emotion. Can't let it go. Can't let it go. Feeling negative emotion. Can't let it go. Can't let it go. Negative emotion. Collarbone. The hollow under the collarbone. Negative emotion. Can't let it go. Negative emotion. Uncomfortable. The bra line under the arm. Negative emotion. Can't let it go. Negative emotion. Negative emotion. It's tough. Left hand on top of the head. It's breaking up. I'm letting it all go. It's breaking up. I'm releasing it. Breaking up and letting go. Breaking up and releasing. Letting it all go now. Letting it all go now. Hand down. Taking a nice long deep breath in. And exhale. 3 natural breaths with your eyes closed at your own pace. Now with your eyes closed, I want you to check back in with that number that you put on that challenging emotion before we started. May have been a 7, may have been an 8, may have been a 6, whatever. Now I want you to rate it again. You don't want to really be recalling your original number, but you want to just check in honestly. Where are you now with that challenging emotion and put a number on it? And I think you'll find you've probably gone down a few notches there. So now you're going to slip into your hypnosis position as described previously. And we're going to begin our hypnosis portion. Now, with your eyelids shut, your eyes are melting up to the center spot in your forehead, easily and naturally, eyes melting up. If that causes any stress or any strain, then you're going to lower your eyes slightly. Still, the awareness is building at the center spot. The concentration is building at the center spot. The focus is building at the center spot. Inhaling in through the center spot in the forehead. Exhaling out through the center spot in the forehead. Inhaling in through the center spot in the forehead and out through the center spot. And in through the center spot and out through the center spot. And in through the center spot and out through the center spot. And in through the center and out through the center. And in through the center and out through the center. And in through the center and out through the center. Breathing easily and naturally, every breath is taking you down deeper and deeper, relaxing and melting and sinking. This is your time to heal. This is your time to receive. And you deserve to receive the healing gifts coming your way today. You're allowing all parts of your conscious mind and your subconscious mind to melt and open and release any of the challenges we've addressed so far today. You're allowing your physical body and your non-physical body to open up wide and release any of the entanglements and challenges that we've brought to this hypnosis session today. Counting you up and out, and then I'm going to take you back in again from 0 to 5. 0 is always deeper. 1, gradually. 2, up and up. 3, sensing the room around you. 4, eyes blinking. And 5, eyes open, wide awake. You're opening your eyes now. And now you're going to hover your left hand above your eyes, just about 6 inches away. People tend to put their hand too far away. A hand hovering above the eyes, just 6 inches away, looking at the palm of your left hand and staring at your center finger. Allowing your eyes to dive very deeply into your center finger and allowing your center finger to dive very deeply into your eyes. And eyes into the finger. And finger melting into the eyes. This might make your eyes want to blink or blink to close, which is absolutely fine. This might make your mouth feel a bit dry. You might have a sensation to swallow. This might make your fingers want to relax and spread. Any of these sensations that are arising, you're just simply allowing. It's perfectly natural. As the eyes continue to dive very deeply into the center finger, and the center finger is melting into the eyes. And one is one and one is the other, and you don't know which is which. Focus on the center finger has doubled. Eyes closed, hand down. Eyes closed, hand down. 5. Every number, every count, down and down, deeper and deeper. 4. Sinking and melting, relaxing, releasing. Taking a nice long deep breath in. Up and up and up and up and up. And exhale. 3. Letting your whole body go from head to toe as you sink down and melt. 2. Deeper and deeper, down and down and down. 1. Relaxing, releasing, deeper and deeper and deeper. 0. Deep hypnosis, down and down and down and down. Relaxing, releasing, and sinking and melting, deeper and deeper. And now during this presentation so far, you've learned about a very important tool. This important tool is called the emotional scale. The emotional scale is very important because it allows us to identify when we're in challenging emotions. And it allows us to identify when we're in very positive and empowering emotions at the higher end of the scale, in the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 range. The number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 range is what we're aiming for. And the scale allows you to identify and applaud yourself for any increases, even if it's only 1 step in the emotional scale. Even if it's only 1 step up, you've made an improvement. After that improvement, you can make another improvement. After that improvement, you can make another improvement. So on and so on. The emotional scale allows you to be in challenging emotions whenever you strongly feel that need to be in challenging emotions. Whenever you strongly feel the need to be in challenging emotions, you just simply allow it. Acknowledge it, allow it, and put a time limit on it. You're going to be finding that you're more attentive to this process. Putting a time limit on it. It's recommended no more than 30 minutes, but if you need more than 30 minutes, then do more than 30 minutes. Then after you've had that particular session of allowing your challenging emotions to flow, you're going to remember your tapping. The tapping process that we did here today is so effective. The more rounds of tapping you do, the more you will release these challenging emotions easily and fluidly. This is so important because it allows us to see that we are not a victim of our emotions. We have empowerment. We are empowered to manage our emotions successfully. We are empowered to manage our emotions successfully. You're going to be finding that this tapping process is very useful. You're going to be going to the link that was provided here in the session and opening it up and following along. It's a follow along video that allows you to repeat after me, the teacher in this particular video. You don't even need to remember any steps. You can simply pull it up on your phone. It's so easy. Release is there available for you anywhere, anytime. You are now empowered. You now have a successful, reliable tool to release your challenging emotions. You no longer have to sit there and be embroiled in them. This tapping is a very successful, a highly successful modality, demonstrated over and over again. It works, maybe not 100% of the time, but at least 98% of the time. What a wonderful tool it is, what a wonderful gift it is. And you're going to be finding yourself employing this tool, using this tool, relishing this tool. This is going to allow you to immediately move up the emotional scale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps, who knows? But you will move up. Our goal is to continually move up the emotional scale. Other processes that you can use are to focus on something pleasing. Focus on something pleasing. This can be even something very simple. You might be somebody who enjoys flowers. So pulling up a picture of a flower on your phone, looking at a flower in a magazine. If you have flowers in your yard, look at those. Taking some time out, taking a break, and going to a nursery to look at flowers, going to Home Depot to look at flowers. If flowers is your thing. Whatever your thing is, you're going to think creatively to find ways to focus on what is pleasing to you. Focusing easily and naturally on something that's pleasing to you. For some people, this happens naturally when you're out in nature. Nature is a very powerful means of turning ourselves around. Finding a stream, finding a pond, finding a forest, finding a garden, absolutely any place. It could be a park close by your home, or it could be someplace that you have to drive to a few moments, or it could be your favorite place that you like to go to, but just in your mind you're going there. However you care to get there, you're going to be focusing on something pleasing. And I want you all to do that now. I want you to find a special place. So this is often a place in nature. Beach, a waterfall, old growth forest, or sometimes it's a library or a museum. It should not be a family home or a family yard or a vacation family home of any kind. Not for the purposes of this exercise. For the purposes of this exercise, it's some place not personal to your family circle. And so focusing there, noticing now what you see. It may be beautiful green trees. It may be books on the library shelf. Noticing what you see. Noticing the colors that are there. What colors do you see when you're looking at these things around you? If it's the ocean, maybe it's blue, maybe it's turquoise. Focusing on what you see, allowing your eyes to deliciously consume what you see, enjoying these sights, relishing these sights. Notice what you hear. It might be a babbling brook. It might be a bird chirping. It might be people talking softly in the library in the distance. It might be the wind rustling through the trees, noticing what you hear. And then in a minute, I'm going to ask you to take a nice long deep breath in. And when you breathe in, I'm going to ask you to understand what you smell. So inhaling in, up and up and up and up and up and up and up, and exhale. Every smell, you're noticing the smells around you. It might be that warm, wonderful smell of books. It might be the sparkling, salty, fresh sea air. It might be the cleanliness of the oxygen coming from green trees. Absolutely anything. Every smell, you're noticing it, you're enjoying it. It's taking you down deeper and deeper, relaxing and releasing. This is a special place for you. You can go to this special place whenever you want to. In your special place, you're going to be relishing all the sights, all the sounds, all the smells of this very relaxing place, and noticing the quality of peace now. Noticing the quality of peace. To whatever degree you're feeling that, small, medium, or large, is absolutely fine. Tapping into whatever is there, allowing it to feel generous, allowing it to grow, sort of like a flower blossoming open. It's multiplying in size, gently and softly expanding within you, this wonderful quality of peace. And now the quality of peace has filled every cell, every space in your body from head to toe, peace. This peace is going to continue to imprint very deeply down into all parts and places and spaces of who you are. In the time beyond this hypnosis session, your dream cycle is going to assist you greatly in continuing to imprint and re-imprint all of the positive messages that you've heard here today. Peace, relaxation, let it go. Imprinted and re-imprinted into your conscious and subconscious minds over and over and over again until you're naturally, continuously, more fluidly feeling these sensations on a regular, fluid, flowing basis. Putting 3 fingers of your left hand together, any 3 will do. Taking a nice, long, deep breath in, filling up and up and up and up and up, and pausing and saying out loud, peace. And exhaling. And inhaling in, up and up and up and up and up, and pausing and saying out loud, peace. And exhale. And inhaling in, up and up and up and up and up and up, and pausing and saying out loud, peace. And exhale. This is your anchor. Your anchor is peace. Your anchor is going to quickly and easily and efficiently bring you back to this place of peace whenever and wherever you use it in the time beyond this session. Counting you up and out now from 0 to 5. 0 is always deeper. 1, gradually. 2, up and up. 3, sensing the room around you. 4, eyes blinking. And 5, eyes open, wide awake. Eyes open, wide awake, up and out and up and out and up and out. Take a minute now to come back round to this reality, and we'll have a wrap up. And you should make your way to a seated position so you can be a little more aware at this time. Okay, so now, if you want to just check in one more time with that challenging emotion and put a number on it, 10 high, 1 low, the challenge, whatever challenging emotion you started out with at the beginning of the session, you might want to rate it again. My guess is that it's gone down again to an even lower number. So let's review. You've received some important tools here today. And the first tool is the emotional scale, understanding where you are on the emotional scale, allowing what needs to be allowed, and then working your way up the emotional scale to a higher vibrational output for your emotions and thoughts. Why? Because you'll attract more higher vibrational people, places, circumstances, emails, websites, books, connections in that place. How do you get there when you're at a lower, more challenging place? The first step is to tap. The link for the tapping is on the website that I showed you, and the links are also in the chat. And Nadia has put another link up there for tapping too. So use any and all. She's also put a link up there for self-love, Qigong. The third tool that we learned here today, and let's just redo it, is putting 3 fingers of your left hand together. However you did it, some people do it like this, some people do it like this, or some other way, some people do it like that. Doesn't matter. Putting 3 fingers of your left hand together, taking a nice long deep breath in, saying out loud peace, and exhale. And inhaling in, pausing and saying out loud peace, and exhale. And inhaling in, pausing and saying out loud peace, and exhale. So 3 of those breaths in a row with your hand in the appropriate position is 1 anchor. So that is the fastest, easiest way to release challenging emotions. But you might find that you need something deeper. Then you can move to the tapping and the video, being aware of where you are on the emotional scale and working to get higher. There's a whole lot of ways to move up that emotional scale. And I think in several weeks, we're going to be talking about segment intending, which is Nadia's favorite. And that is a very powerful way to move up the emotional scale. We'll be mentioning these methods of moving up the emotional scale in all of the sessions between now and then. There will be a tip or 2 every time. So this very generalized hypnosis session, I hope you've noticed an improvement in your well-being. When you work with me one-on-one, it's quite different. We're looking at your personal specific goals, and we're releasing on your personal specific traumas, challenges, childhood imprints after we figure out what they are. So it's quite a bit different. And I would be happy to work with you one-on-one, but I'm also happy to be presenting here for free because it's so needed right now for people. And we have a special available through Warriors. I'm working through Warriors at half my rate, which is $35 a session. So anyway, you can feel free to ask any questions in the chat now, if you have any. Is it normal to cry like a baby during this? Well, not necessarily, Cassie, but that would be a indication that you have a lot to release, and releasing can be very effective, and it can be very quick and very speedy, and it's different here with me than it is in therapy. You don't have to relive every single detail of every single trauma. That's not how hypnosis works. I get a basic outline of what some of the challenges are, which you might not even know what they are. And then we work on releasing the deeper imprints. But crying like a baby is fine. Sort of feels good.
Can I jump in really quick?
What was that?
Can I jump in really quick?
Of course.
I just wanted to tell Cassie and everyone that my first hypnosis session, I also cried like a baby. Didn't even realize I was crying until I sat up after it was over and I felt all the tears kind of fall down my face, out of my ears. But so this is something that's totally normal when you're releasing. It's literally a physical release from your body when you cry. So definitely totally fine and a good thing. It's a good sign.
Yeah. Marie, did you want to, hi everybody. Cassie, much love to you. I just wanted to add as well that, you know, I did several sessions with Deborah years ago and then just recently revisited that to process grief around my mom. And I definitely also cried and released a lot, but I felt so much just lifted off of me. I think my big release only happened like my sixth session, or it happened my sixth session, not my first. But it was incredible. I felt so much better. I lost weight that like a couple of pounds that week because I think I was just releasing just things that I had suppressed for years. And I just felt like finally like I can live like my authentic self. So I definitely recommend, you know, individual sessions with Deborah if any of you all want to process some of this, any kind of traumas that you have. And then also just giving extra tools for managing anxiety and stress is helpful too. Yeah.
Anybody else have a question? That was a great question and generated a lot of good feedback and perspectives. And thank you. You're welcome.
Anybody else? While everybody's maybe thinking about another question, I just wanted to quickly note that we do have a link for, as Deborah said, another tapping video, a tapping actually YouTube channel by a guy called Brad Yates. He has tapping for every single emotion, like tapping for fear, tapping for coronavirus, tapping for anxiety. I mean, he has everyone. And then of course how do you say it? Is it
Qigong is what I've always heard, but
yeah, you pronounce it right. I was like, that's how you pronounce it. Thank you, Deborah. So that's kind of like, I would describe it as like Chinese yoga, essentially. And Marie and I have been using the one for self-love like every single day. It's amazing. And they do a lot of like tapping on acupressure points as well. And she also has another channel with all these different videos. So yeah. Any other questions?
okay, everybody. I'm so glad you all are here and joined us. Remember, we've been doing this for 4 weeks, and if you missed anything, you can always find the recordings on the Warriors access points through their Facebook and their website. They're also on my YouTube channel. And oh, wait a minute. Oh, Julie, some people are saying thank you. You're welcome. Oh, everybody's saying thank you. You're welcome, everybody. Really appreciate it. So I guess we're saying goodbye. And I hope we see you next Monday.
What's next Monday, Deborah?
The next subject, I don't know. Can anybody see it on the...
Oh, wait, I have it. It is the financial abundance, which would be good for coronavirus time.
Yeah.
Struggling.
Yeah, and it feeds right into the emotional scale. So now you can look specifically how to move up the emotional scale and use the emotional scale to create more financial abundance. So we'll be bringing that in. Okay, everyone, we're going to say goodbye now. So thank you for joining us. I hope you'll be back. Bye-bye.